whatever. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, man. Fuck this game, dude. I'm so mad, dude. I'm mad. I'm actually mad. Yeah, DC punishment karma. Are you gonna loot yourself still first? Well, here's the thing. So I am gonna loot myself still first. Here's why. Is because if I don't do it, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of drama. You know, and I don't want there to be a lot of drama. And that's what I really worry about, is that there's gonna be a lot of drama. People are going to get mad, they're going to argue about it or anything like that. So I figure the best way for me to handle it is to just master loot it to myself. And if as I said, it's like Frodo and the Council of Elrond stepping up and taking the ring. It's a very, very powerful object. But the burden of that ring is something that only a true hero can hold. Which is why I decided that I would hold on to that burden myself. And that way, we wouldn't have anyone who's going to be angry or upset or anything like that about the item. Because I would just get it, and that's it. Master loot it and vendor. Yes, I will vendor it for 20 gold. That's right. It is actually worth a lot of money. Yeah, and I think this is a smart thing for me to do. If you don't get it, yeah, they'll quit after Classic. Exactly. Jim, you should get it? I agree. Yeah, I do agree. And also, it's not even a good item. You know what I mean? It's not even a good item. And legendaries, I feel like almost every raiding guild, like people might be mad about this, right? But almost every raiding guild that I've ever been a part of, loot council legendaries. Like, I've never been in a raiding guild that did not loot council legendaries. So it's not even really a big thing. And like every guild that I've ever been in has loot counciled all legendaries. So I don't worry about it. I don't feel like I'm, you know, like doing anything wrong or anything like that. So we're back online. Okay, let me see if I can load back in. Yeah, every guild loot councils legendaries. So I don't worry about it at all. Royson should get it? No. Okay. Difference in loot council and stealing items? Well, it's not stealing, right? It's not stealing. It's looting. It's different. Okay, what's the topic? Oh, about sulfurous. Right? That's it. Nice 200k Twitch followers. Listen, shut the fuck up, man. I'm doing my best. You're gonna yoink everything? No. I don't want to yoink everything. Because if I yoink everything, then people aren't going to show up to the fucking raid, dude. Like, I'm not going to yoink everything. I'm going to roll on every other fucking piece of gear, basically. Like, I mean, after, like, 3 weeks of doing MC, we will prioritize finishing people's tier sets and, like, getting some people some good items that are coming regularly, that are performing well and being, you know, potions and, you know, elixirs and, you know, buff for the raid and everything. But at the beginning, like, we're just going to roll shit off. Like, there's no other way besides rolling shit off that is going to be fair on first couple weeks. That is the only fair way to do it, is to roll shit off. And that's it. And I've thought about only giving loot to 60s. Now, I worry about that because I'm 59. So what do you guys think? Should I, but really, right, I'll get 60, right? But if we 60s roll, do you think that 59s and like do you think that people below 60 should be able to roll on gear? What do you guys think? 60 only or 60 only or not? You should only bring 60s. 60s only. Let me actually see. I'm gonna poll this. Yeah, I do want to poll this right now. Okay. Let me see. Straw poll. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Okay. All right, let's look at the results right now. Okay, there we go. Let's see what people say. Very divided. Very, very, very divided. Okay, I'll link it a few more times, okay, guys? There you go. All right, 52. So the majority of people, the very, very small majority of people, right? Not an overwhelming majority, but a small majority of people do believe that they're able to roll on loot. So I don't know. To me, like, I'm thinking, can they use the items under 60? No, they can't. And that's really it, right? Is they're getting items that they can't use. It depends if they're 60. Most people under 60. What's this here? Most people are under 60, so they vote for what they would want there. I mean, okay, so just because somebody invests their time into the raid All people that are invested, just because they invest their time into the raid like everyone else, does not mean that they're entitled to loot. So if you show up and you do 100 DPS and somebody else does 1,000 DPS, I think the person that does 1,000 DPS should get loot over you. Of course not. This is not a participation reward. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so if somebody is outperforming you, yeah, of course I'm not going to let some random... We can't be serious? Of course I'm fucking serious. Do you know what happens if you just random roll out gear and when one person does 1,000 DPS and the other guy goes 100? The guy that does 1,000 DPS doesn't show up next week because he just lost the roll to somebody who doesn't even give a fuck. That's what happens. That's how you get a shitty guild, is you don't reward your top players. You have to reward top players. That's all there is to it. It's not complicated at all. Okay, let's see here. Alternative point is 100 DPS player needs it more and benefits the raid. They need it more and it benefits the raid. No, it doesn't. Because here's the thing, right? Let's take 2 rogues that are level 70. One rogue is Nilio. The other rogue is Wreckful. And the third rogue is Sneaky McStab, my rogue. Whenever you give Warglaive of Azeroth to all 3 of these rogues, which 2 rogues do you think are going to play better with it? I'd say it would probably be Nilio and Wreckful. Because good players are able to utilize gear at a much higher level. So for a player that's, let's say, really, really bad at the game, we're just going to use a random number, right? And you give them a piece of gear, that might increase their damage by 20. But a player that's really good at the game, that same piece of gear could increase their damage by 100. Because they're better at the game, so the numerical difference scales larger because they're doing more effective damage. So 20 strength means more to them than it means for somebody who's bad. So I think it's a terrible opinion to have that you should give gear to people that are underperforming in the hopes that they might play well. Especially at this beginning raid. Especially at the beginning. What if 58 outperforms the 60? Would you still give them loot? I don't know. I'm not expecting that to happen. It's a bad analogy since you didn't jump in. Well, no, it's not at all. Limbus is a new guild. How do you know who the best players are right now? Based off of DPS. Like that, it's simple. Let's see, because they decide they aren't bad, they're allowed to loot, even though they put the time in. Listen, man, I know there's a lot of trash cans that are probably upset that I'm saying that they're not able to get free loot, even though they show up to the raid. But here's the facts. The raids are not that hard, but they need to be rewarding for the good players. There's a lot of trash cans that are upset about this because they're like, oh, well, I want the loot. Well, what do you mean I can't have the loot if I underperform? I need it. That's why I'm underperforming. I need the loot. You know, meanwhile, we have somebody else that's been farming UBRS 8 hours to get all the best in slot gear, and then they show up and they have fucking, 200 gold worth of fucking items and shit, enchants and everything. And this person, you expect me to let this person lose the role to some clown that's not even 60? Fuck no. Of course I'm not going to let that happen. That's not fair. If it wasn't for the person that was 60 getting all that stuff done, they wouldn't have killed the boss. Fuck no, I'm not going to reward underperformers. There is a baseline though, and I want you guys to understand this. It's not like if you do 900 DPS and another guy goes 1,000, I always give it to the guy with 1,000. But there is a point. There is a point where somebody's performance does become a factor in giving them gear. Absolutely. And I'm not saying like, oh, you have to be playing perfectly. But there is a point where that becomes an issue. Problem is why you let them in? Because we need people. It's better to have them than nobody else. Right? Just because they show up. Contributing and participating in a raid does not entitle you to the gear from the raid. At least whenever I do raids. It does not. Like, you have to earn the gear. I will set the loot rules up ahead of time, and everybody that joins up will know those are the rules, and they either perform, and we will make the decision on whether people who are under 60 get gear or not as soon as we do the raid, and it's going to be up to them. But it's just Twitter. I'll look at that later. Not very much. Listen, here's the thing, right? I think it's your instance. Was I lead? Let me go ahead and see. Yes, it is my instance. Okay, let me go ahead and invite everybody here. Okay, there we go. Why would they even show up? Because there'd be some gear that people don't really want, or they're bored. That's basically it. And that's what I was saying before, is that how could I incentivize them to show up if you're not going to get any gear? But what you're saying is true. Like, how could I do that? I don't know. It's up to them. Okay, just a second. Roy, all right, let's go. Yeah, let's go. It's just bad logic. Well, no, it's like if they want to show up, they can show up. But just because they're going to show up and not perform well, that's good, right? I'm not going to let people that are bad performers get loot in my raids. It's just that simple. If somebody plays like shit, I'm not going to give them loot. People can cry and get mad about that, but all they want. But that's how to make a good guild. The way that you make a good guild is you reward people that perform well and that try hard, and you do not reward people that don't perform well and don't try hard. The way that if you do that, if you reward bad players who don't put in effort, then your entire guild will turn into bad players who don't put in effort. That's the way that it works. That's the way that it works. It's just that simple. It's like at work. Do they just promote somebody up or give somebody a raise because they need the money? No, they give them a raise because they earn it. It's the same fucking thing. People that just want to sit around and get rewarded for no fucking reason. No, of course not. That's not going to happen. All right, we ready? Let's see here. What's it? False because new players will leave and get enough raiders. I think that will be fine. We have a lot of people that want to show up. Any guild that knows, or sorry, a lot of good players, like any good player. Like imagine being a good player, okay? Imagine being a good player. Do you want to join a group that's just going to randomly give away your best gear to somebody else that doesn't even put in half as much work as you do? Do you want that? Of course not. Of course you don't. You want to be able to go in there and be guaranteed that if you put in your effort and you put in your time, you're going to get the fucking rewards. And that's why I do what I do. That's my plan. That's my thinking. Okay? So much info. What's here? It's info to orange, playing bad. It's on your front. Yeah, you're not putting in the effort. That's all there is to it. I'm not going to do that. The only people that criticize that are lazy, bad babies that are mad because they're not going to get loot under that system because they suck. Like, that's all there is to it. Or they don't want to put in the effort. Fuck no. No, they're going to have to put in the effort just like everybody else. So you won't get gear? Looks, man. I'm doing just fine. I'm doing more than just fine. I'm doing great. They're shit. Start crying? Yeah, they can cry all they want. They've never been in a serious raiding guild. Imagine being in a vanilla WoW raiding guild and giving loot to the worst player. Can't even imagine it. Shit. Shit. Okay, we've got the rats here. Are we gonna? I think we might wipe on the rats. We don't have Roy here. We're actually gonna wipe on rats. We're gonna wipe on rats, man. You got it. All right, we're in. Okay, all right, we're good. I'm slowing these. Focus. Can you imagine if people keep your... Wait, sorry, I can't read that. And see, that mentality is why they made personal loot. Participating in a raid does not mean that you earn the gear. Like, if somebody died on Ragnaros, for example, right? If somebody dies on Ragnaros, and at the first phase, right? Even before, the suns come out or anything, they die to something that's completely their fault. They die, they stand in the lava, they just get fucked up, right? They're standing in the wrong position. Do you really think that I'm going to go back and I'm going to give them gear? I'm going to reward them and say, you know what? You are so good at this game, and you are so useful to our group, that I'm going to give you gear. Not a fucking chance. Not a fucking chance. There's no way that's happening. No fucking way. Everyone makes mistakes. That's right. But there's people that make mistakes regularly. And also, if you don't reward people for playing well, they keep making mistakes. And they just keep making mistakes. You have to create a culture where mistakes are understood, but they're also not expected. That's all there is to it. You've got these BFA babies that are mad because somebody else can control whether they're actually good at the game or not. That's the way it goes in Classic WoW. Go back to retail if you don't like it. If you don't like actually having people make determinations on whether you're worth giving a piece of gear to or not, then you can join another shitty guild full of other people that are like-minded, and you're never going to kill any bosses. DC? No. No. Kill the pack. No, here we go. We're doing it. We're making it. Finish the pack. We've got it. All right, one more. We're good. Yeah, we're not going to give some kid that sucks gear just because he showed up. How pathetic is that? Oh, wow, that's actually pretty good. 16 strength, holy shit. Okay, let's move up here, we'll keep going. Oh my god, I hate this game, I know, man. Okay, new question, but if you can get Strathlone from Noah, yeah, you can, but it's just really, really rare. Also, it discourages players from performing well if you give gear to crappy players. Exactly. Like, one time that happened to me, right, is I was in a guild, and they gave my best in slot necklace to the warrior that was at last damage. I told the guild leader, I was like, I'm not going to come back if you do that again. Like, I'll join another guild. Like, I'm here for loot, and I'm not going to go kill bosses on progress to have people get gear over me on farm. Like, I'm just not going to do it. Like, fuck no. Like, why would I waste my time for that? It doesn't make any sense. It sucks? Well, no, because he kicked the guy out of the guild, and they kept me instead. And so that's why, because I was more important to the raid. The thing is, people have to, like... I think that they have, like, this idea that, like, the guild master or something, they owe them something. Oh, they owe me something. No, they don't. Show up to the raid, do your job, and that's it. He got the item? Yeah, I mean, of course he got the item that time, right? But that was the only time. And it was a pretty good, I'm here for loot. I was trying for that reason, they get more? They get none? Well, no, they have to earn the loot. You can be there for loot. Of course you can be there for loot, but if you come there for loot and you don't earn that loot, here's the way that I look at it. I ask myself the question, if there are 24 other people, there are 39 other people that were just as good as this guy, would we kill the boss? And if the answer is no, then they don't get loot. It's all that simple. That's the benchmark that I look at it. Still talking about? Well, no, it's true. All right, let's go. Actually, everything is true, so... Well, yeah, of course. Any good guild will tell you that. Any good... Fuck! Jesus Christ, man. Okay, let's go. Fucking goddamn it, dude. Okay, let's go. Drew, son of a fucking bitch, dude. Okay, let's go. Okay. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't believe it. Alright, man. Yeah, fucking goddamn it, dude. King CC. The way you're explaining loot distribution is what I've seen loot done in every guild I've ever played in. Well, of course they are. Of course they are. Of course, that's the way every guild does it. Yeah, that's all there is to it, man. Okay, let's go. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with our servers. I'm worried that we're not going to be able to load in soon. Okay, let's keep going. But yeah, anyway, I can go back and forth on this a million times, right? But no, we're not going to give people. We're not going to give people loot that are bad. That's all there is to it. Putting at the bottom of your team will greatly increase your overall DPS. No, it's not true. It's not true at all. There's a lot of motivation and like other shit besides that. Bringing up like gearing bad players. I'm not talking about people that are under-geared, right? Like any good loot council. Here's the thing: is any good loot council will be able to look at somebody's gear and say, okay, this person is underperforming by this much, and look at their gear that they have and say, oh, well, they're underperforming because of this gear. So any good loot council knows that. And that's why all of the good guilds use loot council, because they can make those decisions. That's all there is to it. Retail retards don't understand? I know. I know. Okay, Jesus Christ, dude. Holy fucking shit, man. Okay, we have to keep waiting here. Hearing someone bad gear, might as well just disenchant it. I would literally disenchant gear instead of give it to bad players. Absolutely. Like, yeah, I would literally like rather disenchant gear than give it to bad players back in the day. I disenchant a number of pieces of gear, and I've given the bad player the shard, and I'll be like, listen, here you go, better luck next time. And yeah, that's the way it's gonna go. And back in the day, like obviously I used to do that a lot. Now, obviously, I don't think I'm gonna do that anymore because somebody can always use it. Like back then, it like wasn't really. It's like nobody else needed it, so we could do that. But like nowadays, obviously, it's different. It's toxic. No, it's not toxic at all. It creates a situation. Every other player there sees that. They come back next week and they have potions. They have elixirs. They have their flask and they're ready to go. You set an example. That bad play and being a clown will not be tolerated. That's the way it works. Okay, let's zone back in. All right, let's go. All right, I think we can maybe do like a couple more pulls here. Hopefully that's gonna happen. People will call our people toxic. Don't want in the real world. Yeah, imagine going to your job, doing a bad job every single day, and then getting upset because you get fired. or being in a sales job, and then, oh, I'm not getting enough commission. You're not selling any fucking cars. It's too bad. So what did drop? I have no idea, actually. Okay, we are pretty much good to go minus slow bow. Let's pull, I don't know if we can pull like a 5-pack. Yeah, can we pull maybe... Roy, can you sheep one of these? Oh, shit. It's nothing, dude? Yeah, let's just sheep a couple of these packs, okay? Let's get this guy here. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, here we go. We're fine. Okay, here we go. What resume? You right? Get right Spurgoid. What do you mean by that? Job is fucking hobby. Rabian is team effort, dumbasses. That's right. And if you don't contribute to the team, you don't get to reap the rewards. A lot of bad players are upset about that. That's the way it goes. That's the way every good guild does things. Any good pug that I've ever been in did not reward bad players. You'd never reward bad players. It kills motivation and morale. Never motivate bad players. Or sorry, never reward bad players. You always want to motivate your best players and build them up and build a core around your best players rather than your worst players. It's very demoralizing to spend a lot of time and effort on something and then have somebody who puts in like a fraction of that effort and time get a reward over you. That's why personal loot and Titan forging is so bad and demoralizing. It's because people that put in more work don't get more rewards. So you're basically creating Titan forging for Classic whenever you're doing that shit. It's a bad idea. Okay, we'll pull these guys next. Yeah, bad players upset. No, like, listen, I've been a guild leader. I've been a raid leader for 10 years, over 10 years. I know what works. I know what doesn't. I'm absolutely confident that I'm right. Yeah, well, if he's disabled, put in more effort. It doesn't matter, like, extenuating, like, what do I have to, like, do I have to go prove that he's disabled? Would I need to, like, get his medical records? What if somebody's lazy and they says they're disabled? Like, I don't want to deal with that. You go into the guild, you perform well, or you don't. That's all there is to it. Okay, like, let's be honest. Like, what I don't want to deal with somebody's medical records to make sure that I think that they're disabled. So we give them gear anyway, even though they outperform or they underperform. Right? It's all voluntary, and that's another thing that people don't have to realize. Right? Is that everybody shows up to a raid. Everybody shows up and they come there because they want to be there. Don't do things that make people not want to come to the raid, or they're going to stop coming to the raid. It's very important to make sure that your raiders are happy. And one way to make sure that raiders stop being happy is to give gear that they work hard for to people that didn't earn it. That's the truth. Quit a raid because Druid Tank got a BS cloak and he didn't have any gems? Yeah, I would quit too. Like, I'd quit on the spot. Like, what am I there for at that point? Okay, let's go. That's like saying someone's kid in soccer, losing team gets a trophy, a loser kid and a loser team cause the kid to lose, gets a prize. I don't know what you mean by that. You're not obligated to be inclusive? No, I mean, I'm obligated to do... Okay, alright, we're good. I'm obligated to do what's best for the team. Whenever I raid, I feel like my goal as a raid leader should always be to ensure the success of my team. That is always my goal as a leader. It's not to make myself happy. It's not to do what makes me feel good. It's to ensure the success of my team. That is the only priority that I have. The moment that you lose sight of that priority is the moment that your raid and your team and your goal falls apart. That is the only goal that you need to have. Anybody who starts thinking about, oh, well, I want to do this thing because it makes me happy and feel good, immediately leave the guild. Because one point or another, they are going to fuck you because their feelings are more important than the success of the team. Never do that. Never let that happen. That's a fucking fact. I will do what's best for the team every time. I've done that many times before. I've been a raid leader. I've been a guild master for a long time. I know what it takes. Okay, let's get this done. Recently G-quit for that reason? Yeah. As soon as you see people doing things to make themselves feel good, and because they think that, oh, that's the right thing to do, there shouldn't be any right and wrong. Like, it's not about right and wrong. The only right and wrong should be, am I fulfilling the responsibilities that these people have collectively been okay with me leading and having? That should be your responsibilities, fulfilling those responsibilities and being the leader that they want you to be, that they've all chosen, or at least passively at least, elected you to be. Okay, let's go. Kanye Wedgen? Yeah, he certainly is. The right thing to do is the best thing for the raid. That's right. Do the right thing, the best thing for the raid. That's it. It's maturity. Well, yeah, a lot of people don't get that, right? I mean, because, like, many people are very selfish, right? And like, I can get that. I understand. Like, a lot of people are selfish. And like, that's fine with me, right? I mean, there's tons of people that are super selfish about shit. And I can see why. I'm selfish about stuff too. But I also, I don't do something that's selfish and then turn around and say, oh, well, this isn't because, you know, I'm just not. It's like, I'm doing this for the betterment of the raid, right? I'll meme about it, right? But do I really think it's for the betterment of the raid? No, of course not. Absolutely not. It's just something that I want to do for myself, right? And it's important not to lose sight of that. As long as people, they're selfish. Yeah, I mean, it's okay to be selfish, but at the same time, it's not, you shouldn't always be like that. Who's the best person to talk to for an Olympus invite? Anybody in one of the 3 or 4 guilds. I think Olympus 1 and 2 are full, though. I admit that I'm selfish, that's why I'm a guildmaster in regular. Well, yeah, well, the way that I look at it, right, is that whenever, it's like if you go into a guild, here's another thing, is if you go into a guild and you're not okay with the way that the rules are, right, you can either tell them, like, listen, I don't like this, so I want it to change, or I'm going to leave, or you leave, right? There's no reason to stay in something if you don't like the rules. So, like, for example, there are some guilds that will slash roll things. Now, I don't consider that fair. I would never join a guild that slash rolled things. But at the same time, I also don't think that, what do you call it? I would not try to, like, I would say, like, listen, I don't want to slash roll things. But if they weren't okay with the way that I wanted to do things, then I would find another guild that was more like-minded. So, you know, there's not a big problem. I think that a lot of people don't realize the fact that, like, it's really important to make sure that you jive and, like, you're able to, like, be in an environment that you feel good about being in. Because eventually there's going to be times where, like, you know, you don't have to show up or you don't want to show up or something like that. And that motivation and the sense of responsibility that you have for being part of that bigger group and that bigger team is exactly why you, that's what it comes out of. I don't know, babies out of hand sent out, so many year old. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's not my guild, right? I mean, it's a completely different thing, right? I mean, the way that I act whenever I'm in part of, like, an organized guild environment is different than whenever I act whenever I'm just outside doing stuff with my stream. Of course. There are 2 completely different paradigms. I understand people just want to take one fucking word, one-liner that I say, and then act like, oh, well, you fucking said this other thing later on. What about this other thing that you said? They're 2 different fucking things, guys. You don't live your entire life based off of a one-liner, okay? Everything has an exception. Everything is different. Every situation is different. More people need to realize that. Shit! I aggroed.